Hello everyone, welcome to I2 Global. This is Nishant, your physics mentor. So students, today we are going to study about one important topic, which is projectile motion. We are going to see about a projectile motion when it is projected from ground to the ground. Right. So what do you mean by projectile motion? Where have you seen this? So a simple example would be that you are standing on the ground and you are throwing a ball. When you are throwing a ball, what will happen? What kind of path it will follow? It will follow something like this. Correct? So this is the projectile motion that we have to see today. We are going to talk about various properties related to projectile motion. And when you are standing on the ground and throwing the ball, it is called as ground to ground projectile. If I talk about projectile motion, it is the classic example. It is a classic example of two-dimensional motion. Okay. So two-dimensional motion, what do you mean by two-dimensional motion? When you are moving only along the x-axis or along the y-axis or along the z-axis, it is called as motion in one dimension. When you are moving in a plane, that means you are moving in x-axis as well as y-axis in a plane, that is called as motion in two dimension, and also it is called as motion in a plane. So here what I was saying, that you are standing on the ground, you are throwing a ball with the initial velocity u, making an angle of theta with the ground. Now how this ball will go? This ball will travel like this, and it has started from point A, it will reach to the ground at point B. Okay, it will reach to a maximum height also. This point we name it as C. So we have to analyze this motion. For analyzing this motion, first we will have to take few assumptions. Okay, so assumptions are there in your course of syllabus that you have to take and that you have to follow every time. So when I talk about assumption, so first assumption that you have is that no air resistance. First assumption we have is that there is no air resistance. It is thrown and there is no air resistance. That means if I say during this motion there will not be any effect of air on this body. Number two is we assume that this is thrown near to the earth. So this is thrown near to the earth. This is what we assume. Now why second assumption that we have? It is thrown near to the earth. Why this assumption becomes important? Because when you see throughout the motion, there will be one force or one acceleration that will be acting on the body, that is acceleration due to gravity acting in the downward direction like this. Okay, and if I am saying that I have thrown a body near to the earth, that means this acceleration due to gravity value, which is 9.8 meter per second square that usually that we take, remains constant throughout the motion. When you will be moving in your gravitation chapter, you will see that with the height this gravitation small g value also changes. Now let us analyze how we can do the analysis, how we can write down the equation for these. So first here we need to understand that this initial velocity will be resolved in two different dimensions. Along the x-axis, that will be u cos theta. Along the y direction, we would have u sin theta. Along the x direction, there is no acceleration. Why there is no acceleration? Because there is no air resistance, and apart from air resistance, there is no value of the force which is applied on the body. That means this body will continue to move with u cos theta throughout this motion from point A to B. There is no change in the initial velocity along the x direction. While talking about the velocity in the y direction, what is going to happen? You can understand that you have thrown a ball with the initial velocity u sin theta in the upward direction. Now as the time goes on, this velocity keep on decreasing, and at the highest point this velocity becomes 0, and then again it starts to come down with a increasing velocity. Okay, so this is the motion in the y direction. Motion in the x direction will be initial velocity of u cos theta without any acceleration. This is moving throughout the motion. So let us write down the terminologies along the x direction and y direction. So if I move on and if I just write down along the x direction, what all things I have? Along the x direction I have initial velocity along the x direction is u cos theta, and acceleration in the x direction is 0. Acceleration in the x direction is 0. When I talk about y direction, so in y direction we have initial velocity in the y direction is u sin theta, and that is acting upwards, and acceleration in the y direction is g, which is acting in the downward direction. Okay, so here you can understand in x direction, if I write down its equation, so x will be equals to u cos theta multiplied by time. This will be our equation along the x direction. In the y direction, what kind of motion that you are going to have? In y direction you will have a motion where a body is thrown upwards with a velocity of u sin theta from the point A. It will go on and it will reach the maximum height C. At this point, velocity at the highest point is 0. Okay, and again it come back to the ground at the point B. If I have to write down the equation in the y direction, so we will use the equation s is equals to ut plus half at square, because here acceleration is constant. This will go up and it will come back. So we will have y is equals to u sin theta multiplied by t minus gt square. S is equals to initial velocity, which is u sin theta multiplied by t minus 1 by 2 gt square. Minus because acceleration due to gravity is acting in the downward direction. U sin theta because initial velocity is in the upward direction. So this will be our equation number 2 that I can assume. This is our equation number 1. Now I want to know about the equation of trajectory. What do you mean by equation of trajectory? Equation of trajectory means this parabolic path that it was following, I want to get its equation. That is called as equation of trajectory. So let us just find out what will be the value of equation of trajectory. So when we have to find out what is the value of equation of trajectory, from the equation number 1, I will find out the value of time, that will be equals to x divided by u cos theta. This will be the value of the time from the equation number 1. This I will substitute in equation number 2 to get the value of equation of trajectory. So I will get y is equals to u sin theta multiplied by x u sin theta multiplied by x divided by u cos theta minus 1 by 2 times of g. Instead of time I will write down x divided by u cos theta whole square. If I solve this, initial velocity u and u will get cancelled out. I will get y is equals to x tan theta minus half into g into x square sec square theta. 1 upon cos square theta will be sec square theta divided by u square. So this would be our equation of trajectory. Okay students, now you will say, sir, this is very big. Do we have to remember this? No students, you don't need to remember this. If you understand the process, it will be very easy for you. Whenever you get a question related to this in the MCQ 1, you will be able to find out this within 20 seconds. It will not take much of the time if you know the process. So this is the first part, that is equation of trajectory. Now we need three more things. What all? We need range, this horizontal range, the distance that it will be covering in the x direction. We will be needing this maximum height this ball or this object will be reaching above the ground. Also we will be needing time of flight, that is the total time this ball was in the air. So we need these three things to find out or analyze this motion more accurately. So let us move and find out the value of the time of flight first. So when I say in the y direction, what I have in the y direction at the highest point, velocity, final velocity was 0. So I can write down the equation in the y direction, that final velocity in the y direction is equals to initial velocity in the y direction minus acceleration into time. Minus because initial velocity is upward, acceleration due to gravity is downwards. So Vy is equals to u sin theta minus gt. Okay, so final velocity will be 0 at the highest point, so I will get u sin theta minus gt. From here I will get the time for which the particle is moving from the ground, that was the point A, to the highest point, that is C. That is equals to u sin theta divided by g. Now students, this is the time in which the particle has gone from the ground to the maximum height. Now we want to come back again to the ground. It will take same amount of time to move from ground to the highest point and from highest point to the ground. That means the time from A to C will be equals to time from C to B, and that will be equals to again u sin theta divided by g. Now what will be the total time? Total time will be the time of flight that we represented by capital T, that is time of flight. Time of flight, what will be the value of time of flight? Time of flight will be equals to 2u sin theta divided by g. So this is the time in which the particle will go to the highest point, come back. Okay, this time, this value, this is the formula that you will have to remember. I can write down this in one more way. I can write down this is equals to 2 times of initial velocity in the y direction divided by g. Okay, here the property is the particle takes same amount of time to move from point A to C and from C to B, that is from ground to highest point, from highest point to the ground. Now let me move further and let us find out that what will be the value of the maximum height. Okay, so let us find out what will be the value of maximum height. For maximum height, that is h max, we write it for h max. What we need for the h max? We can say that we have the equation y is equals to u sin theta multiplied by t minus half gt square. If you guys remember, this was the equation number 2 that we have written down. This particle will be at the highest point when? This will be at the highest point when time is equals to u sin theta divided by g. This we have calculated. This is the time for which the particle will move from the ground to the highest point. So this is the time. We will substitute here. I will get, instead of y, it will be h max. H max will be equals to u sin theta multiplied by this time, that is u sin theta divided by g, minus 1 by 2 times of g. Instead of time, again I will write down u sin theta divided by g whole square. So I will get the value of h max is equals to u square sin square theta divided by g minus u square sine square theta divided by 2g. If I solve this, I will get the maximum height value is equals to u square sine square theta divided by 2g. That means h max is equals to how much? U square sine square theta divided by 2g. This is the formula for h max when the projectile is ground to ground. This you will have to remember. This also I can write as initial velocity in the y direction square divided by 2g. Now here when we got this, there is a few things that we need to remember. Okay, there is few things that we need to understand here. Now if I say that a particle is projected with a constant initial velocity, angle of projection can be changed. Angle of projection could be here, angle of projection could be anywhere. Find out the angle of projection for which you will get the h max to be maximum. So what will be that value? So let us understand this by this formula. We have u square sine square theta divided by 2g. This value will be maximum for a particular value of u when theta is equals to 90 degree. When theta is equals to 90 degree, we will get h max to be maximum, right? What I can say here? I can say that u square divided by 2g. If sine theta is 90 degree, then sine 90 will be 1. So u square divided by 2g will be the maximum height that a particle can have when it is projected with a initial velocity u. Okay, so here you can understand the value of h max maximum for a particular speed of projection is u square by 2g, and this will happen when theta is 90 degree. That means we have put all our efforts in just throwing it upwards. There is no x direction velocity. Okay, so this will be the case. Now moving on to the last part of this, that is about the horizontal range. Okay, so let us understand about the horizontal range. Now horizontal range we represent it by r. So here I had a very simple equation. In x direction the particle will be moving with a constant velocity, so x is equals to u cos theta multiplied by t. This was our equation number 1. This particle will continue to move with u cos theta in the x direction till the time of flight. That means when time is equals to 2u sin theta by g, I will get the value of x 2u sin theta divided by, when time is equals to 2u sin theta divided by g, then I will get the value of x is equals to range. So I will get r is equals to u cos theta multiplied by 2u sin theta divided by g. This I can write as r is equals to 2u square cos theta sin theta divided by g. Now the value of 2 sin theta cos theta is sin 2 theta. The value of 2 sin theta cos theta is sin of 2 theta. So this I can substitute here. I will get u square sin of 2 theta divided by g. So this will be our formula for range. U square sin 2 theta divided by g will be the formula for the range. Okay students, so this is how we will get these three things. Now let us talk something more on this range. If I try to find out what will be the value of range maximum, again I am talking about the maximum range. Now what will be the maximum range? Let us understand. Range will be maximum for a particular value of u. Range will be maximum for a particular value of u when this sin 2 theta component, this sin of 2 theta component is maximum. When this sine of 2 theta component is maximum, in that case, what should be the value of theta? The value of theta should be equals to 45 degree. The value of theta should be equals to 45 degree. Sine of 90 degree is what we are going to get. Okay, sine of 90 again we will get, and the value of the range maximum will be u square divided by g. This will be the value of the maximum range for a particular speed of projection. Okay, so here students, this becomes very important. Many a times you can get the question that at which angle of projection you will get the value of theta is equals to value of at which projection you will get the range as maximum. So you will get range maximum when theta is equals to 45 degree. Okay, so and the maximum value of the range is u square by g. This range I can also write down as 2 times of initial velocity in the x direction, initial velocity in the y direction divided by g. So this will be value of maximum. This will be the value of range. Why I am writing down like this? Because in some of the MCQ question they can give you initial velocity in the x direction, initial velocity in the y direction. So if you know this formula, it will be very easy for you to find out the value of the range. Okay students, so I hope this all things would be clear to you. There are many MCQ questions that we can have on this. Okay, there are various questions that we can have on this, and this was one of the projectile motion, like projectile motion from ground to ground. There is a projectile motion from a particular height to the ground also. There is a projectile motion on an inclined plane also. So this was just one of the part where the ball or an object is projected from ground to ground, right? So I hope you have understood this concept, and there are various MCQs on this that you will be able to solve and you will be able to apply, right students? Thank you.